Hey everyone, my name's Calvin, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Mandala Creator Autumn Harvest Edition to make a mandala just like this one, and a wreath just like this one. The first thing you'll do is download this folder and then unzip it, and then inside there's a few other folders and a README file. Inside the README file there's a link to this video, the demo video, and then there's also my email address, so you can feel free to send me a message if you have any questions or comments. In order to start using this add-on, you have to first decide which template you want to use. And you can find the templates in the second folder. And there's a two-sided one, four-sided one, five-sided, and six-sided ones. And in this demonstration, I'm going to use the five-sided one. So to open that up, I'll drag it into Illustrator. And the template looks just like this. You're basically going to place your designs inside this triangle and then use the action scripts to reflect it all the way around. And this is automatic. We just need to load the action scripts. So we'll go to Window, Actions, and then up in the little corner here there's a menu, and if you see any actions here, I recommend that you do Clear Actions, and then you can load actions by going to Load Actions. And we'll go back to that folder, and the actions are in the same folder that the template was, so folder number 2. And since we're using the five-sided template, we'll use the five-sided actions. So I'll double click that. And this is what they should look like. If they just look like gray buttons, then you need to turn on button mode. And you can do that by going over here. So if it looks like this, make sure button mode is turned on. There we go. Now we need to load the brushes. This is optional. I don't think I'll use the brushes for this demonstration. But they're available for you. So you do that by going to Window and then Brushes, and then let's go Brush Library, Other Library, and back to that folder. And the brushes are in the first folder here. So Brush File, Optional, Vines and Stems. And there you go. That's what they look like. And you'll use them with the brush tool over here. You'll basically draw your line. And then select it and then choose whichever brush you want to use here. So I'll clear that. The next thing you want to do is open up the elements. So this kit comes with about 290 little drawings, and we can open those by going back to that folder, and they're in the first folder here actually, and 275 Autumn Harvest elements. So we'll drag that in up here, and this is what they look like. So you'll kind of look around here and choose a few elements that you want to use in your mandala. I usually like to start with big things like a big leaf or a big flower or something. So I think I'll start with a big leaf, maybe this one. So you can use these scripts to help you. A lot of these are just shortcuts to menu commands. So whatever's easiest for you. I'll do this copy script here and paste. It'll paste it right on there. And then I can scale it up to fit on this little template here. And one thing you want to watch out for is, depending on the settings you have in Illustrator, it may change the line thickness. Like for example, if Scale Strokes and Effect is turned on, so if I went to Edit, Preferences, General, if this box is checked, then when I scale something, it's gonna like keep the line thickness proportional. So kind of like that. Let's see here. There. So if I shrink it, the line gets really small too, and if I scale it up, the line gets really fat. So you don't really want that. And you can double check if you're noticing this kind of problem. Just double check that this is not checked, just like that. And then everything should scale normally. So we'll select it and we'll just type in 1 point. Just manually there, and then from now on, as long as that setting isn't turned on, when I scale things, it'll keep that stroke as 1 point. And if you aren't sure about changing all the settings, you can just use these scripts, and no matter what the settings are, it'll always keep the line the same thickness. So no matter what, shrink, grow, it'll keep the stroke the same. I've also got a duplicate script. If you want to copy something, it'll just place it next to it. And then a flip script as well, so you can sort of mirror something. Rotate, and move to front, move to back. So if this leaf is behind the other one, just like that, I can move it to front, put it on top, or send it to the back, just like that. So I'll get rid of that one. I'll scale this up and sort of place it here. I think it's okay if stuff goes over the edge of this triangle, because when you run this script, it's just going to get reflected around and then back on itself. And the other templates have some other options. So since this is a 5-sided template, there's only one script, which is just going to copy it, copy, rotate 5 times all the way around. But the other templates, and I'll show you that, because next, after this, I'll make a wreath with the 4-sided template. And in there, you'll have the option just to copy and reflect 4 sides. So instead of just copying it and rotating it, it'll copy it, flip it around, and then rotate it. And it'll keep doing that, back and forth, back and forth. So for this one, this is just going to be a simple one for demonstration. I think I'll maybe look for something like a flower. I think that's fine. I'll copy that one and paste it in. Scale it up a little bit. And I'll just run the script to see what I've got. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to select anything. Just run the script. And you can see it's just copying it and then rotating it around. There's no reflecting going on because this is a 5-sided template, so it's an odd number. So if it reflected it, it wouldn't match up in the end. There we go. That's pretty cool. It looks like maybe this flower could be moved over. And we've got a nice little space in the center. I might modify this leaf a little bit. So I'll turn it, move this over here. And I want to shorten this stem. So I can just use the eraser tool to do that. That's this one here. And just like that. Okay, so I'll try it again. And I'll delete my result here. I don't want that anymore. Otherwise, it'll just place the next result on top of that one. So just run the script again. There we go. That's pretty cool. And I think I could put one of those pumpkins or something in the middle here. But also it needs a little bit of something there, kind of in this area. And I think I'll scale up the flower a little more. So I'll go back to the elements here and choose something little, like maybe an acorn. So I'll copy that. Paste it over here. Delete the result and then just run the script again. There we go. Sometimes the script, it takes longer to run than other times. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it's an issue with Illustrator and resources on your computer or something. But make sure you don't click anywhere while it's running. Just wait for it to run all the way. Otherwise, it might get interrupted halfway through, and then it will just do some weird stuff. So if you notice it's doing any weird stuff, just close it out and then open it up again. Because if the script gets interrupted, it could mess up some of these shapes here and get them in the wrong place. So I think I'm pretty happy with this result. I'll just throw the pumpkin there in the middle. I think I'll choose... I really like the sliced one, actually. So I'll copy that, paste it. And scale it down. Whoops. Okay. Rotate this just a little bit so the stem isn't covered. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So now it's 2 objects here. Basically all these shapes are grouped together, and this is just by itself. So I'll just select everything and then I'll group it again, so now it all moves together. And now for exporting these drawings, especially if you're doing a coloring book, I recommend that you export them in a totally different document. So we'll copy this one here. We'll go to File, Copy, and then we'll make a new document. And we'll make sure it's CMYK because this is going to be for a coloring book, so it's going to be printed. And then let's make it 2500 by 2500. That's 300 DPI for an 8.5-inch square coloring page. So that's a suitable size. and then I'll paste it in and scale it up. And this line is a little thin, so probably 2-point stroke, or maybe even 2.5-point stroke. There we go. Maybe even just center it. Perfect. So this would be basically done, and you'd export it as a PNG by going to File, Save for Web, and then move this down to PNG here. PNG 24, just like that. And then you'd save it and include this image in the PDF file for your coloring book. There we go. So next I'll show you how to use the 4-sided template. I'll show you the other scripts where it reflects it when it rotates, and then I'll show you how to make a wreath. So let's go to, I'll go back to the original folder and open up that template. There we go. 4-sided, drag it in. And we still have the 5-sided scripts loaded, and if I try to use these scripts with this template, it'll just like freak out. So make sure you clear these and then load the 4-sided scripts. So it remembers where we were last time, but it's in the same folder. So templates and actions, and then 4-sided actions. There we go. Now the correct actions are loaded. And zoom in a little bit, and then choose a few elements. Since we'll make a wreath, I'll stick to some of these longer elements here. I think I'll make like a wreath with like a turkey inside or something. So I'll just run this just to see where we're at, and I'll show you what this other script means, or this one here, copy and reflect. On the 5-sided, there was only the copy and rotate, but on all the other templates, since they're an even number of sort of segments, there's also a reflect option. So if I run the reflect option, see, it's just mirroring it over into each segment there. There we go. I think for this mandala though, or for this wreath, I'll use the copy and rotate. That's really my favorite script. But this one does have some really nice uses, especially if you're making, like a square with some text in it, and then you want to have some plants sort of sticking out around it, kind of a design like that, some typography or something. Then this reflection works really nicely. I'll delete those, and we'll try the rotate, copy and rotate. There we go. It's looking a little bit kind of squarish. That's just kind of, it just kind of happens when there's empty spaces in certain places, because it's going to be periodic. So it gives it the illusion that it has a square shape. So we can fix that by just rotating something a little bit closer to this boundary. There. So I'm just keeping in mind that nothing should stick inside this line or outside that line, and that'll keep it more circle-ish. It's a new word. So copy and rotate. Okay, that's a little more circle-ish. Maybe it needs something here, maybe? Some flowers or some little leaves. Almost there. Sometimes when I'm making these, I get sucked into perfectionist mode or something. Okay, copy and rotate. Perfect. Okay, I like that one. And then I'll just put the turkey inside. Maybe mama turkey. Copy that one. There we go. Perfect. So I'll group that so it all moves as one piece. And then I'll copy it and then make a new document again, 2500 by 2500, and paste it in. And I'll make it the same as the other one, 2.5. There we go. That's pretty cool. So hopefully this is a pretty good overview about how to use this add-on. I use these illustrations for coloring books, but you can use them for whatever kind of thing you want. It's even good for logos or typography or stuff like that. And you can also use your own elements. These are just drawings that I made with the pen tool. So you can download other kits and use those elements with this, or you can draw your own. It's totally up to you. So let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment, or you can send me an email directly. But other than that, guys, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.